Good morning. It is 8 o'clock, and we are here on the 11th day of May at the City Council of the City of Coppell to canvass the election. We have two council members here, which is what is required. So I will call the meeting to order. The purpose of this meeting is to canvass and approve a resolution of the official election results of May 1st in accordance to the election laws. Only two council members are required for a quorum. Therefore, a quorum is present, and I call this meeting to order. So, item 2, you two get to consider a resolution of canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the May 1st, 2021 general and special election for mayor and council members place 2, place 4, place 6, and place 3, and order a runoff election to be held on June 5th, 2021 for the purpose of electing a council member for place 3 and authorizing the mayor to sign. Mr. Hager will read the resolution. Do I have it? Oh, sorry. You want the Spanish one?
No.
Okay.
I might, but we'll be here a while. Are you ready, Madam Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Resolution of and special election for council place 3 to fill an unexpired term, ordering a runoff election to be held on June 5th, 2021. Whereas it is hereby found and determined that the notices of the general election were duly given in a form, manner, and time required by law, and said elections were in all respects legally held and conducted in accordance with applicable laws of the state of Texas and the proceedings calling and governing the holding of such elections, and whereas it is imperative to consider the returns of the general and special election held on May 1st, 2021 for the purpose of electing the hereinafter named officials before the qualified voters of the city, and whereas the returns of the general and special election have been duly and legally made and submitted to the City Council for canvassing, and a tabulation of the returns for the polling places and for early voting as canvassed and tabulated by this governing body, and whereas for the returns for mayor and council member for place 2, 4, and 6 receive a majority of votes cast and resulted in the election of the candidates for said position, and whereas the returns for council member place 3 did not result in the candidate receiving a majority of votes cast, and a runoff is required by law. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Coppell, Texas, after examining said returns and opening and canvassing the votes of said election for mayor, council members, places 2, 3, 4, and 6, that the results of said general and special election are as follows. Section 1, that the following number of votes were cast for the following named candidates for the office of mayor, to wit, name Wes Mays, early votes 2,333, election day votes 1,429, total votes 3,762. Rob Anderson, early votes 1,069, election day votes 705, total votes 1,774. It appearing that Wes Mays received the majority of the votes cast is hereby declared duly elected to the office, to the City Council as mayor to complete a 3-year term subject to qualifying and taking the oath of office as provided by the laws of the state of Texas. Section 2, that the following number of votes were cast for the following named candidates for the office of council member place 2. Brianna Hinojosa Smith, early votes 2,644, election day votes 1,596, total votes 4,240. Rahib Mahed, early votes 626, election day votes 438, total votes 1,064. It appearing that Brianna Hinojosa Smith received the majority of votes cast, is hereby declared duly elected to the City Council as Council Member Place 2 to complete a 3-year term subject to qualifying and taking the oath of office as provided by the laws of the State of Texas. Section 3, that the following number of votes were cast for the following unopposed, or for the candidates for the office of Council Member Place 4: Amit Dahara, early votes 717, election day votes 621, total votes 1,338. Kevin Nevels, early votes 2,614, election day votes 1,475, total votes 4,089. It appearing that Kevin Nevels received the majority of the votes cast, is hereby declared duly elected to the City Council as Council Member Place 4 to complete a 3-year term subject to qualifying and taking the oath of office as provided by the laws of the State of Texas. The following number of votes were cast for the following named candidate for the office of Council Member Place 6, to wit, Bijou K. Matthew. Early votes 1,790, election day votes 1,195, total votes 2,985. Mark Smits, early votes 1,568, election day votes 910, total votes 2,478. It appearing that Bijou K. Matthew received the majority of votes, is hereby declared duly elected to the City Council as Council Member Place 6 to complete a 3-year term subject to qualifying and taking the oath of office as provided by the laws of the State of Texas. Section 5, that the following number of votes were cast for the following named candidates for the office of Council Member Place 3: Don Carroll, early votes 1,211, election day votes 629, total votes 1,840. Megan Shoemaker, early votes 957, election day votes 608, total votes 1,565. Devin Bernstein, early vote 1,168, election day votes 843, total votes 2,011. It appearing that no candidate received the majority of votes cast for the office of Council Member Place 3, that a runoff election is hereby ordered for June 5th, 2021, for the purpose of electing a council member for Place 3 for the unexpired term. That the only candidates for said runoff election shall be the 2 candidates for Place 3 who receive the highest and second highest number of votes for said office from the municipal officers election for the city conducted on May 1st, 2021, and is canvassed on May 11th, 2021. Accordingly, the official canvass of said election, no candidate for said Place 3 received a majority of votes cast for said office, and the candidates receiving the highest number of votes were as follows. Number 1, Don Carroll, 1,840 votes. Devin Bernstein, 2,010 votes. The presiding election judge and alternative presiding election judge appointed to serve the authorized polling place and early voting clerk, city secretary, and the deputy early voting clerk shall be those election officials who served at the regular election on May 1st, 2021. The voting system or systems meeting the standards and requirements of the Texas Election Code as amended is hereby adopted and approved for the early voting by personal appearance by mail and for election day voting. The election shall be held as a joint election administered by the Denton and Dallas County Elections Administrators, utilizing specific equipment to cast ballots as approved by the Texas Secretary of State and in accordance with the provision of the Texas Election Code and the Texas Administrative Code with a joint election agreement for each of the respective counties. The city manager is hereby authorized to execute the election contracts with the counties of Dallas and Denton for the conduct of the election. Pursuant to the joint election contract, the county election administrator shall serve as the election administrator for the election. The presiding election judges and alternative presiding election judges appointed to serve at said polling places shall be those election officials furnished by the election administrator from the list of proposed election judges as listed in an attachment to the joint election contract. Notice of the election shall be posted on the bulletin board used to post notice of the city council meetings and be published in a newspaper of general circulation in the city. Said notice must be published on the same day in each of two successive weeks, with the first publication occurring no earlier than the 30th day and no later than the 14th day before the date of the election. A copy of the published notice that contains the name of the newspaper and the date of the publication shall be retained as a record of such notice, and such persons posting the notice shall make a record of the time of the posting, starting date, and the place of the posting. Early voting by personal appearance for Dallas County and Denton County residents will be set forth in accordance with state law and as stated in the joint election contracts and posted on the city website. The application for the ballot by mail must be received no later than the close of business on May 25th, 2021. Applications for early voting by mail shall be mailed to Dallas County residents Michael Scapello, Dallas County Election Administrator, 1520 Round Table Drive, Dallas, Texas 75247. Denton County residents, Denton County Election Administration, 701 Kimberly Drive, Suite A, 101, Denton, Texas 76208. All resident qualified electors of the city shall be permitted to vote at said election. This election shall be held and conducted in accordance with the provision of the Texas Election Code and may be required by law. All election materials and proceedings shall be printed in both English and Spanish. Section 9. The city secretary is hereby directed to cause the notice of said election to be published at least once, not earlier than the 30th day, nor later than the 15th day before the election, as provided in Section 4.003A1 of the Texas Election Code. Shall be posted on the bulletin board used for posting notices of the City Council meeting not later than the 15th day before the election. A copy of the published notice that contains the name of the newspaper and the date of publication shall be retained as a record of such notice, and the persons posting the notice shall make a record at the time of the posting stating the date and place of posting in accordance with the Texas Election Code, Section 4.005, Section 10. This resolution shall take effect immediately after its passage, duly ordered by the City Council of the City of Coppell, Texas, on this 11th day of May, 2021, signed by and approved by Karen Selbo Hunt, Mayor, attested Ashley Owens, City Secretary.
Could you repeat that, please?
Yes.
Council, I will consider a motion. Councilmember Hill. Mayor Pro Tem Hill. I had to do that one more time.
Just one more time.
Just one more time.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution just read into the record by Mr. Hager.
Thank you. Is there a second? By Councilmember Jun. All in favor? Thank you very much. There is no other business before the City Council, so we are adjourned at 8:14. Thank you very much.